we are here at Money 2020 in Amsterdam with Raj from Altimetrik. Raj, how are you doing today?
Oh, very good. How are you, Polly?
I am very well, thank you for asking. How are you finding Money 2020?
Oh, very exciting as always, and the energy level here, and I think just to bring that whole energy here is amazing. So we're here, this is our second year in Amsterdam. It's going very well, yeah.
Amazing stuff. So why don't you give us a little bit of a quick introduction to yourself, Altimetrik, and the kind of things that you do there?
So I'm Raj Sundaresan, and I've been CEO for Altimetrik for the last 7 years. And Altimetrik is a company which focuses on data and digital product engineering, really focusing on bringing all data and focusing on the digital business by building that single source of truth and enabling the businesses to make decisions out of the single source of truth which we have. So that's primarily what Altimetrik does. And we really focus on incremental outcomes for our clients rather than looking at a big bang approach. So really looking at iteratively getting incremental outcomes for our businesses so that we don't lose the sight of the point of arrival, but incrementally delivering and getting outcomes for our client is what we focus on. Yeah.
Amazing, yeah. So you've gone through some of the things that you focus on, but how do you differentiate yourself as a company in the financial services industry?
So our wheelhouse is really in fintech and payments and focus on data. That's our differentiator. Really bringing in that single source of truth and building that hybrid data mesh to bring all the data together. And today there's a lot of talk around AI, ChatGPT, and blah. But if you do not have the foundation of your data in a very curated and quality data in a single source of truth, a lot of the other things is going to be really junk in, junk out is what I call it. So we really help our clients and enterprises to build that clean data and then really building that whole MDM for governance of the data. So that's one area of our. The second differentiator is that we really focused on helping our clients modernize their platform, really taking them to the cloud, really applying the domain-driven design to bring incremental and iterative way of re-engineering their monolithic platforms. And in a way that we don't risk their existing business. So that's very important too. In this current scenario, the existing business is tampered when you're re-engineering, they've lost the entire value of what we do. So we do it very incrementally, and ensuring that the existing business doesn't go to the knees is very differentiated for us. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. And are there any key trends in digital business within the industry that Altimetrik is following particularly?
Really in the payments and fintech area, banking as a service is becoming a big deal, so we're helping clients to build that whole experiential API and the whole payments, really building the payments rails for the real-time payments and plus implementing globally for our clients is important as well. As far as the digital business, it's just all around data. Again, I would go back and saying, how do we enable our clients to start utilizing their asset, which is data, by ensuring that we're building that foundational single source of truth, be it in a data mesh where you have federated governance and helping our clients build that, and hence enabling their artificial intelligence or machine learning through this SSOT is what we really focus on, and that's a key differentiator for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know when it comes to business and the business world, it's very highly dependent on data right now. But how does Altimetrik help clients to develop those data capabilities like you've been saying?
Yeah, so I think currently, and I would say the normal approach to data is they just build things in silos, and that's what really does not enable our businesses to really look at it holistic. So we bring that holistic approach of ensuring we build the right data pipelines to bring in data, internal, external, social data, into a centralized single source of truth. And we build a single source of truth as well in a very incremental and iterative way, not a big bang approach. So we'd start off with a business outcome. What is that you're looking to derive out of it? And then backtrack from there and saying, to build this business outcome, we'll look at the data which needs to be brought in, and then build that single source of truth and incrementally add on to that single source of truth. So when I say single source of truth, it's all around how do you bring in that master data management which is needed to govern the whole data. The data quality is important too. So if you really don't have the right data in there, whatever the outcomes are not going to be the right thing. So our focus was really building that data mesh capability, giving a federated governance at a domain level for the businesses to run, so that they're not building this in silos, but they're very federated, centrally governed, and so that is a differentiator for us, and that is very important again before jumping into any of those modeling, large language modeling or AI, ML, the real asset is building that single source of truth. And whether it's in the financial services world or in the life sciences world or in retail, it's very, very important to kind of ensure that we have that, real single source of truth so that people could enable a lot more outcomes around that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know data is always, it's very key to both Altimetrik and just generally in the industry. But are there any other sort of big trends, hot topics that you think businesses should be focused on right now that you're noticing?
I think that's to me that becomes the core, and the businesses should make that as a DNA to ensure that the data is treated with the right amount of focus, and ensuring the data quality and governance is not a one-time thing; it's an ongoing thing where you need to ensure that quality is there. So that trend is very important. Hence, your outcomes would be the right outcomes you're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to get your machine learning will be learning wrong things if your data is not right. So our focus is very, very much on that one. And the other trends in the payment and fintech area is how do you enable? You don't have to really believe in building everything in-house. So there's so many other for card issuance, for risk, for processing. How do you kind of get all of those APIs which are out there? How do you build something which is so reliable so the fintechs are enabled quickly? So we did this for a startup, which is an early stage startup, for them to open opening a bank account and accepting payments and issuing cards. All of that in a matter of 12 weeks, and they were up and running as an MVP. So this client, which is a real startup, it's called Gigsters. It's based out of the US. But that's how we enable that. At the end of the day, we don't really have to build it all out there. The APIs are, you can see that today in the Money 2020. There's several of those startups there. How do you tie it all together, but bring in that reliability of the fintech or the payment which we're trying to do? So that's very important. So that trend continues to happen today. And people are now monetizing their core assets by exposing it to an experiential APIs. And that experiential APIs would be continuing to trend a lot more. And that kind of enables a lot more of the entrepreneurs to look at it and say, what do I build out of these, all the other APIs out there, and bring it a holistic solution out. So that's important as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear a little bit more about some of the solutions that you offer as well with Altimetrik.
Yeah, no, especially in the financial services world, we are into processing, which would be both acquiring and issuer processing. We have a lot of accelerators we bring to the table. We have built multiple rails, and we have accelerators to build connectors to multiple of the clearinghouses and banks, and that's important as well. And ISO 20022 is important. A lot of migration happening, so we have built really automated way of migrating those message format, and that's another huge. And the modernization itself, how do we take a monolithic application and kind of break it down into domains, subdomains, and services, and how do you incrementally migrate into a newer architecture and kind of a strangler pattern? That's another, I would say, an accelerator we bring to the table, which really doesn't, to risk to lose the existing business. So we want to keep that up while you're modernizing yours. So that's another area where we invest in. And a lot more, again, in the data area. We bring in a lot of connectors. We believe in that digital platform, which is important. The digital business methodology we bring to the table, because at the end of the day, everybody could talk about transformation and everything until you have a real good methodology, of taking something, a big one, breaking down into chunks and bite-sized outcomes, and then iteratively executing. That's the digital business methodology we bring to the table, and then we enforce that methodology through our platform. So that's how we really push for this. So, because at the end of the day, when you're doing iterative incremental development, you need to be really disciplined on what you do. Otherwise, you're not going to get to where you got to get to. So the point of arrival is very important. So we need to figure out where we're going and then incrementally get there. And that's where our digital business methodology helps us do that, yeah?
Fantastic. And then just finally, if there was one piece of advice with respect to sort of digital business enablement that you'd like to give someone listening to this interview, what would that be?
I would say do not take a big bang approach, and then I would say focus on data and have a holistic view of your data to build a single source. So important whether you're launching a new product or you're literally looking at your finance organization, your marketing organization. data becomes core. And if you do not invest that and do not draw insights out of that, then you're stuck. So that's point number one. Point number two is no more big bang approaches. So we should really focus on digital business. Don't get turned on with this digital transformation and everything, because those are all the ways of people trying to do a big bang transformation. We come and really look at digital business. What I mean by that is to really look at the outcomes which need to be delivered, and then go back and figuring out how do we incrementally, iteratively develop that. So stay away from this big bang, because I've seen a lot of this digital transformation, digital businesses fail miserably because they have this big bang 2-3 years plan to get that going, but things change so rapidly in this world. So if you do not do it in a matter of weeks, every outcome, then the business not seeing a value, and you get tired of not seeing the outcome. So really stay away from the big bang. Go really incremental, iterative approach. Have that kind of the digital business methodology which I talked about, and we're going to be publishing a book on that as well. So we'll see how do you really get there in a very more disciplined way, and it's all being enforced by your platform. So it's very important.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Raj. It's
Thank
been
you.
fantastic.
Okay, thanks for having me here. Thank you.